Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Foreclosure Help 777, where we talk about everything foreclosure related. Today we're going to talk about Aleta Chapman's case, which is in Texas. If you want to look it up in Pacer, it's at the Southern District of Texas, and her case number is 424CV03344. That's for her eviction case, and there's also another case which is her quiet title action, which is 424CV03260. So if you log in, you'll be able to see them both. But anyway, let's take a look at what's been happening with her case. It's getting interesting. Okay, so as you can see, on 9/9/24, she removed her eviction case to federal court. Okay, and then you can see the things that were filed here. You'll see on 9/25/24, a motion for sanctions was filed. On 9/25 as well, a motion to dismiss was filed and a memorandum of law in support of the motion. So let's take a look at what those look like. Okay, so let's look at the sanctions motion first. And here it is, the cover. Comes now defendant Aleta Chapman, pro se, and respectfully requests the court to impose sanctions pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure Rule 11 against attorney Christopher Baxter of Maranoskeby, however you say it, Law Group for the following reasons. Introduction. This motion seeks sanctions against attorney Christopher Baxter for pursuing eviction proceedings in bad faith while a title dispute was pending in the 400th Judicial District Court of Fort Bend County. Additionally, the defendant has filed a separate motion to dismiss and a memorandum of law regarding the eviction case, citing improper conduct by the plaintiff. Background. On June 17, 2024, the plaintiff initiated a lawsuit concerning a title dispute against Selene Financial, which serves as the servicer for U.S. Bank Trust N.A., not in its individual capacity, but solely as owner-trustee for RCF2 Acquisition Trust in the 400th Judicial Court of Fort Bend County, State Court, under the case number 24-DCV-317315. A lis pendens was duly recorded to inform all interested parties of the pending litigation, including attorney Christopher Baxter. On August the 22nd, 2024, U.S. Bank Trust National Association for this trust, represented by Christopher Baxter, filed an action in state court in Fort Bend County under case number 24-JEV-01058 against defendant Aleta Chapman, seeking to depossess her of her property. Legal basis for sanctions. Under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11b2, attorneys are required to refrain from filing frivolous claims or pursuing actions without legal basis. Christopher Baxter's actions demonstrate a disregard for this requirement, as he pursued eviction despite knowing that the title dispute remained unresolved. And there's case law here in Caterpillar versus Lewis. The court emphasized that legal action should not proceed when an essential legal issue remains unresolved, a principle that applies to the current situation. See also Chambers versus NASCO. Furthermore, plaintiff violated 28 U.S. Code 1927 by unreasonably and vexatiously multiplying the proceedings in this case. Thus, attorney Baxter should be held liable for the excessive cost incurred. The plaintiff, by his conduct, caused defendant great emotional distress. Plaintiff's conduct was intentional infliction of emotional abuse. This included feelings of homelessness, anxiety about the future, depression, a loss of control. This has affected defendant's mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. This action was not only reckless, but also intentionally made to circumvent the pending title dispute litigation. Request for relief. For the reasons stated above, defendant respectfully requests the court to impose sanctions against Christopher Baxter in the amount of $10,000 for pursuing eviction in bad faith and causing emotional distress, and any other relief the court deems just and proper. Conclusion. Defendant urges the court to consider the merits of this motion and take necessary actions to prevent further abuse of the judicial process. And then signed. And then you have a certificate of service for the other side. So let's see what happens with that. Now, there's also the motion to dismiss, which she also filed on the same day. And you can read this motion to dismiss on Pacer, or you can send me a request to look at it. If you guys want me to share this with you, I can. It basically says what we just talked about, and it includes a separate memorandum of law, which is right here. This is the memorandum of law for the motion to dismiss, and you see it has a table of contents, introduction, statement of facts, argument, efficiency and judicial economy, and conclusion. And you can read about this as well if you want to hear about this. Basically, we're explaining that it should be dismissed because of the other action is duplicative. Argument. Let's go to this part here. Aleta Chapman contends that the first filing rule should be applied. First filing disputes generally arise under two circumstances. A plaintiff files a case against the same or similar parties in multiple courts. A plaintiff files a case in one court, and instead of filing counterclaims in that original suit, the defendant opts to file those claims as a new suit in another court. Because the original plaintiff, Aleta Chapman, filed her first suit, her action takes precedence under the first filing rule. So basically, she's trying to get them to dismiss this eviction case completely and sanction the attorney because he violated, says the attorney, Mr. Baxter, violated defendant's constitutional rights to due process by attending the hearings instead of dismissing it. The eviction process effectively disposes defendant's interest in the property before the title dispute is adjudicated. The eviction is pursued in bad faith solely to gain an advantage in the title dispute. It could be viewed as an abuse of process. The plaintiff is misusing the legal process to achieve an outcome that is not justified. And basically the conclusion pretty much states it all. For the reasons stated above, defendant Aleta Chapman respectfully requests that this court order the state eviction court to disregard the abatement order and order the state court to follow the judicial rules and mark the case as disposed, no longer pending, and dismiss this present case due to the ongoing title dispute. The eviction case can be seen as an attempt to circumvent the title dispute that undermines the ongoing litigation related to the same property. The Constitution requires that individuals be given adequate notice and opportunity to be heard before their property is taken. And so that's how that one goes. That's how that one ends. Okay, guys, that was comes to a conclusion for now for Aleta's case, and we will be keeping a close eye on both hers and Marlon, since they're both in the same court, so to speak, in the Southern District of Texas. So everybody pray for them so that they have good outcomes. I hope everybody has a blessed day.